Hi guys, this is Scribbly again with another pen review, and today we're going to talk about a fairly interesting pen that many people are interested in. It's a pilot pen and the specific model is the Custom Heritage 92. That is a gold-nibbed piston filler. That is one of, I think, Pilot's most popular offerings beside the Custom Heritage 74 that I have already reviewed. You can find that on my website scribbly.org or on my YouTube channel. This here, as a matter of fact, is the piston filling Custom Heritage 92. I have got that pen sent for review by Paul's Paper and Pens in the UK, Paul's Paper and Pens.co.uk. That has the pen for a fairly good price. I think I'm normally hesitant in commenting on Japanese pen pricing because depending on where and on this planet you are located, those pens vary quite considerably in pricing. That pen, for example, if you're in Japan, you can get it, I think, for like €100. You can order it for 100 or 120 euro from eBay, but you know, you may have to pay taxes and import fees depending on where you're located, and then if you have a problem with the pen or with the nib or something like that, if you got to ship it back, you may run into trouble, may take a very long time, you may have difficulties communicating, and then sometimes you find that pen in Europe for over 200 or 220 euro. Paul's Paper and Pen sells it for 150 pounds in the UK, which I think from for buying the pen from a trusted pen seller is a fairly nice price. Thanks for sending me that pen for review, as a matter of fact. Let's have a look at the packaging first. It comes in a fairly simple cardboard outer sleeve that is quite slim. It's not actually a huge packaging. Then it comes out, we slide out another black Pilot box. That is really nice with this black Pilot logo on there, some silver dots here, looks a little bit spacey and futuristic. Then you open up the pen like this, you get a nice little, I don't actually know what that is, cloth or something like that. As a matter of fact, it's a nice little pen sleeve or pen pouch with a Pilot logo on, and a small charm here so that you can actually close it. Then you get, I got the pen with a fine nib here, the warranty card. As said, we're talking about the Custom Heritage 92 with a 14K nib, a fine nib, some filling instructions and a Pilot logo inside here, and you can open up that part here, and there's another care guide and, you know, paperwork, all that kind of paperwork. So let's stow that away. That is the packaging, that is how the pen comes. And here is the pen itself. A flat top pen, essentially a cigar shaped pen that is capped off top and bottom. The model that I have here is the transparent model, and the pen is available in a number of different colors. It's available in smoke black, also all black. I have the Custom Heritage 74 here. That is that all smoke black version. So if you would get the, and I'll just have the pen here to do a size comparison in a bit, because I thought it may make sense to compare those two models in size, which you already sort of see here in my hand right now. If you would get that pen in black, then it would essentially look like this. You would, through the black corpus still, as you can see here, the Con 70 converter that is here empty, the pen is uninked, you would still see the ink sloshing around in here, but of course with the complete clear demonstrator design, you see that slightly better. And then I think the pen is also available in orange and blue and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, this here is the all clear version, and all versions do have a smoky black piston turning knob, a smoky black top of the cap here, and then I do believe also that all of the models have a smoky black translucent section. Let's go through the pen. The top here is just a flat top that is slightly translucent, and let me bring the Custom 74 in again. For a comparison, it has the same kind of inner dome or dot or whatever you might want to call that, has the same kind of blob going on in here. So that is a little bit similar in design. Smoky black semi-translucent flat top cap here. That looks kind of cool, I find. You see the screw in here that sort of like holds that cap and the inner cap together on the cap. Then you see, as said, is a demonstrator pen. You can see the nib in here, which I find is pretty cool. You can even read Pilot 14K and all that. You see the scroll work on here. You see the Iroshizuku Inaho ink sprinkles there on the nib that I have in here. You then have a clip that looks a little bit like a sword or a dagger or something like that. That clip is on the stiffer side, but works perfectly well. You can perfectly use that for sliding the pen into a shirt pocket or in a pen pouch. You have a cap band here saying Pilot Japan, Custom Heritage 92. The cap band here looks very, very similar, or exactly is essentially the same to the Custom 74. I was always calling it Custom Heritage 74. Custom 74, of course, has the same cutouts here. So it's essentially just the name that is different on that cap. And then, of course, the clip looks different with those two. You then have the barrel, of course. That is a piston filler. The piston sits here. You see the piston and all that in here. That's kind of cool with the demonstrator design. You see the ink sloshing around in here, which is also kind of cool. And then back there you have another silver band, and then you have the piston turning knob that is also translucent smoky black. Once you open that up, it does expose a small part here where you can attach a wrench to, and I've tried that. You can, that is not glued in or something like that. You can use the metal twisty wrench, fits with a little bit of wriggling around, that will fit, and you can unscrew it and remove the piston. I've already done that because I have re-greased that piston a little bit. It has worked out of the box, but I just wanted it a little bit more smooth and lubricated, so I removed the piston, was greasing it, put it back in. That works very well, no problem. Cap unscrews. Let's see how many turns we have here for the cap to unscrew. So this is one full turn, 1.5, yeah, about 1 3/4 turns for the cap to come off, which I think is still, everything under 2 caps to me is okay for making the pen still usable as a quick note taker. Then we see the inner cap here to prevent the nib from drying out. Works perfectly well. I've never had that pen, that I picked that pen up and it had dried out or something like that. Some facets in here in the cap, also very similar to the Custom 74. Does also have those facets in here, and the threading, it's basically more or less the same cap apart from the flat top. Then we have a very nice, comfortable section. That is a perfect section size for me. It's not too thick, it's not too thin, just lays perfectly comfortable in the hand. It's actually a very pleasant pen to write with. It's a very, very comfortable pen to write with. Again, of course, you see the ink in here. That is very nice. Of course, that's what people like about demonstrator pens, that by changing the ink, as said, that here has like this golden brown Iroshizuku Inaho inside. If you now put in a red ink or a blue ink or a black ink or a green ink, it sort of changes the appearance of the whole pen, which is kind of fun. You even see some ink down here because the section is semi-transparent, as said. Those threads here are not sharp. You could hold onto them if you tend to hold your pen a little bit higher. You will feel them, but they won't cut into your fingers or something like that. I tend to hold the pen down here, where the section just there, where the section flares out a tiny wee little bit, which I find super comfortable to hold. Really nice pen to hold. And then, of course, we have this super nice Pilot number 5. That is Pilot's number 5 in their internal numbering or nib size system. That is their number 5 size nib. Says Pilot 14K 585. 5, the nib size, F for fine, and then down here that is 316. That means that the pen is made in March 2016, and then I can't read that one down here. It's a very beautiful nib, as a matter of fact. I find Pilot does make some of the nicer nib designs out there. I find this is one of the most beautiful nibs, maybe together with Pelikan and Sailor. This is my favorite nib design. And then you have the pilot feet down there. The pen does post. It can be posted. It posts fairly deep. Makes it also posted, makes it very, very comfortable to write with. No problem whatsoever. I tend to write the pen unposted because it's just long enough for me. It has really, this is like, it's more or less the perfect pen size. Girth and length really fine, but since it does post so deep, there's absolutely no problem in using that pen posted. Let me show you how deep it actually posts. It's almost halfway down the barrel, not exactly halfway down the barrel, maybe a third or so, but as said, doesn't get top heavy whatsoever, works very wonderfully. Before we jump into a writing sample, I thought it might make sense to do a couple of size comparisons. And first I wanted to bring in, of course, its brother or sister or whatsoever, the Pilot Custom 74, which is just that tad longer. That is maybe due to the, if I align the cap bands here, that is actually the doming here. Let's see how they compare when we uncap them. Yeah, they're actually essentially more or less the same length. It's just the nib of the 74 here is longer by maybe 2 millimeters or something like that. So, and the section is also about the same. Feeling wise, I'd say the Custom 74 feels maybe a tad thinner, but really, that is really like splitting hair here. I think it's basically safe to say that they are more or less both the same in length and in girth. Then I thought it might make sense to bring in another flat top Japanese fountain pen. This is the Sailor Pro Gear. If you maybe have a Pro Gear and you are thinking of maybe getting a custom Heritage 92, excuse me, this is how they look compared to each other. The Pro Gear is girthier but shorter. And let's check that uncapped. The Pro Gear also is a little bit shorter, but as one can see on the section, is girthier and has the larger nib. And then last but not least, in case you don't have any of these Japanese pens, but since they're kind of related, I thought it might make sense to somehow compare these two. Of course, here's my standard size reference pen, the Lamy Safari, which is a little longer, which shows us that the Custom Heritage 92 is by no means a very small pen, which is why I also find it very comfortable to write the pen unposted, because I have slightly larger hands, and also uncapped. The Custom Heritage 92 is not a lot shorter, maybe half a centimeter shorter than the Lamy Safari. So it's not a tiny pen. Let me see, I have a Pro Gear Slim here as well. Maybe you want to see it beside a Pro Gear Slim. That's a shorter pen. So you've seen that, do that cap before, and then I stop annoying you with size comparisons and we hop straight into the writing sample. That's how it looks. Writing sample towards the end of the review with this awesome Japanese nib. Very nice, very smooth nib with a little bit of soft, springy bounciness. Very nice, fine. It's really almost a hairline. It's a very nice, fine nib. Pilot Custom Heritage 92. Nib was a wee bit dry out of the box. I made it, but it worked. It worked. I was just like, I like the nibs a little bit wetter, so I made it a tad wetter, so that I can really see the shading in the ink. The paper quality here is not really good, but you can see the shading in Inaho here right now. Very nice. This is a fine nib. Very smooth, very nice fine line. It's a Japanese fine, of course, so that means that it will be more comparable to a German extra fine, say a Lamy extra fine or something like that. This is a very, very lovely, very nice everyday writer. Now this is a little bit more wetness. This is a little bit more absorbent paper, so you won't see a lot of the wetness right here on Rhodia or something like that. And I'm thinking actually of switching my paper for future reviews to Rhodia paper or something like that. It will be a bit wetter, and I've also made the nib a little bit wetter. I find this to be a really, really cool pen. Of course, the piston filler is fun, holds a lot of ink. Pen uncaps pretty fast, lays really nice in the hand. The nib looks beautiful, writes extremely beautiful. I really do like that pen, I gotta say. So towards the end of the review, thanks for watching. Thanks again to Paul's Paper and Pens for sending me that pen for review. I hope the review was useful to you guys, and I'll see you at the next review. Bye bye.